How can you contact social media influencers? For those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Juan Valdez, and if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, join the V fam. Obviously, once we're gonna start the process of finding the social media influencers that we can potentially work with, I recommend for you guys to check out this tool. It's called the Hyper tool. It's gonna look like this, and the website is called hyperbrands.com. It's gonna be hyperbrands.com. And once you get to the website, it's gonna look like this. Again, I have a previous video showing you guys kind of how to use this tool. You guys can check that out. For now, I'll pretty much just go over kind of the steps that you guys can utilize when it comes time to actually contact these influencers. So you wanna start with this tool and obviously, search for the influencers that make sense for your, whatever product you're trying to promote or, that you're trying to sell with your Shopify store. And when you're first getting started, you obviously wanna look for some personal pages like, specific people that are known for the let's say if you're selling an outdoor product, you wanna look for some personal pages for people that are known to, obviously work in the outdoor space, or if you're selling pet products, maybe people that are known to work in the pet space. Obviously, you want to start off with personal pages. That's of course. The next thing you want to do is you also want to look for different blogger pages and different fan pages. These pages usually don't have a face attached to them. Usually, like the owner of the page won't ever make any posts with like their own face on it. They usually keep it pretty general, where it's just around a specific category, whether that category be pets, whether that category be outdoor. They usually keep all their posts around that specific niche. And you guys can check it out. It's real simple. You can pull up either Instagram, Twitter. You specifically for the shout outs that I want, for people to try out is of course Instagram shout outs, because we know that those work, but also try out Twitter influencers and see how that can also work out. Because again, I did hear from a good buddy of mine that's also in the e-commerce space that Twitter influencers is also another area that people are underutilizing. Back to what I was saying though. So again, you want to make sure you're looking for blogger pages and fan pages. Right now specifically, there are tons of people that are doing, Instagram influencers or just working with influencers overall in many social media platforms. So these people that have huge followings, that have really good social media profiles, they get tons of messages day in and day out. So you want to make sure that obviously, you're messaging them, but also, many different people as well, because the more people you message, the more likely you have a chance of actually getting a response from someone, and the more likely you have a chance to actually, be able to work with one of these pages. I'd recommend for sure to make a list at about 20 or 30. Luckily, you guys don't have to do it like how I used to have to do it, which is literally go on Instagram and search one by one, go through all these different hashtags and search all these different pages. You guys can actually utilize the Hyper tool, and it makes it a lot easier to find all the different pages that you guys, can potentially work with. I would say for sure get a list ready. Once you have a list ready, you want to make sure that you start looking to see where and how you can contact them, right? Usually they all have emails. I've actually tried to use this email when I first got started and it worked really well for me. So you guys can actually try it out, and you literally use this as a swipe file. Basically, you want to have, your subject line, you want to be straight up. You want to let them know exactly what the message that you're sending is for. So you want to let them know ahead of time, this is a paid post. So your subject line could be as simple as, paid post, all in caps. So they know specifically that the email you're going to be sending out is, again, a potential deal that they can actually work on or work with you on. For the text, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. You guys can experiment and try different things, but I like to keep it pretty simple. So for the text, you guys can use this right here. And what I simply wrote was, hey, I'd love to work with you. What are your rates for sponsored posts? Nice and simple. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. The second form of communication that you guys can also do is, of course, sending messages through DM, either Twitter or Instagram, right? These people are getting usually tons of messages a day, just because obviously you guys aren't usually not the only ones that are reaching out to them, trying to get them to work out a deal, for a sponsored post. So you want to find ways that you can stand out. The two most recent pictures, make sure you like and comment on those. That somewhat kind of gets their attention. Whenever that happens to me, like catches my attention a little bit, even though obviously I may not be as big as these pages. You can start off by that. Then right after you do that, make sure you hit them with a DM. That way they're getting different notifications. They can see that you're trying to obviously reach out to them. So these are simple things that you guys can do when you're reaching out to them. Now, when it comes time for the DM, when you're sending it, you want to make sure, just like when you email them and the subject line you guys use, you being very clear and specific, but you also want to find a way that you can hook these influencers with specific words right in the beginning. That way, before they open your direct message, they have an idea of what message you're trying to get across to them or what you want to do, right? So usually what I do is when I'm sending a direct message to any of the influencers, I try to really grab the attention off the back. So what I do is all in caps, I'll write business inquiry, and I'll write that all in caps to make sure that they know exactly why I'm messaging them. I'm not just trying to waste their time. And usually what I try to do is, just include some emojis to make it seem obviously a lot more genuine. Once you find an influencer actually you can work with, you want to see that you want to establish a lot more of a relationship with this influencer, because if the first post or deal that you guys work out goes really well, you can then work out more deals with them and obviously generate even more money through these influencer posts. So they like to connect with the people that they're working with. So obviously if you're just reaching out and you're just messaging them to waste their time, or if you're not being clear about what specific intentions you have with them, then it's likely that they won't answer your DM or they may not want to work with you. So just keep it simple. This is what I write right here. You guys can literally use the same template. Again, you guys can change it up, but I literally got a DM just like this. I'm actually going to post it on here. You guys can see it. It wasn't my personal DM. It wasn't for an influencer post, but it actually grabbed my attention and they did the same thing. They did a fire emoji in all caps. They wrote video idea and then a money bag. So right off the top, like, I know exactly what the message is about. It catches my attention, has, the emojis, and it makes you actually want to click on it to find out, what the message is about. So coming down to it, I already mentioned this, but again, some of the things you guys want to keep in mind is that it is all a numbers game. So, it's just like sales. When I was doing door-to-door sales, there was a specific amount of doors that I would have to knock every single day until I would get my first sale of the day, get my second sale of the day. It's the same thing with this. So in order to come in contact with these influencers, you're going to have people that are just super busy till they'll never respond. Some people that they do respond, but then like maybe their social media pages aren't the best, like they don't have good engagement, things like that. There's always going to be something, right? So you want to make sure that you're reaching out to enough people where it makes sense for you to get some type of responses. If you're only reaching out to 4 to 5 people, obviously it may not even be as likely that you'll get one response. So you want to just up your chances. So the more people you message, the more likely you are to get a response. The next thing you want to keep in mind is after they respond, you want to make sure that you are checking out their pages to make sure they're legit and then you don't get ripped off, because one thing that can happen is that you can have influencers or fake influencers. They'll make these pages, but they really just bought like all their followers and they bought all their likes and all these things. You can check. There's different websites that you can do to check their engagement and on their following and all that great stuff. I can definitely make a video just literally separately on that and how you can do so. Let me know, actually drop a comment. Let me know if you guys would want to see a video of how you can check out the social media pages and their following, and how you can verify if they're actually a real influencer page or not. And also leave me a like if you guys like to see more videos like this on influencers and how you can really come in contact with these influencers and how you can verify influencer pages. I have heard stories of people that have gotten ripped off on influencer posts, have paid maybe $100 or $200 and end up making no sales. And actually, funny fact, one did happen to me when I first got started. When I did one of my first influencer posts, when I didn't know obviously what I was doing, I paid $50. I set up the influencer post, sent it over. I did not check if their following was real, if their engagement was actually there. Like I somewhat checked, but I didn't do like a thorough check, checking like other websites and things like that. And we ended up working a deal. Good thing it was only a $50 shout out that I had arranged with them, but ended up actually getting no sales. And it wasn't that bad of a product. It was actually a decent product because I ended up testing with a different influencer and it ended up working. So I know it wasn't the product, it was actually the influencer. So make sure you guys don't have anything like that happen to you guys. That's pretty much everything I have for Instagram influencers. Again, if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you drop a comment and let me know. If you got any value from this video, make sure you leave the boy a thumbs up. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, join the V fam, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.